Hello there. So since I made this video right here on the wrap skirt and the bodysuit thing, I've been really obsessed with skirts, mentally, because I do not have much of those. So today I want to make myself a skirt, a really nice cute skirt, but really simple. So it's just an airline skirt with a slit at the front, whichever has been trending. Yes, that one. So I have this fabric right here. It's nice white fabric with some pink stuff, and it's left over from when I was making some school project, and that's what I want to use. It's 100% cotton, so if you're a beginner, this is the perfect project. Why? One, the skirt is really simple. Two, the fabric is really light and it's nice. And number three, I'm showing you step by step on how to draft it, and this can be used as a skirt basic block, so it's really nice. I also have a short that I do not wear, and I'm thinking of turning that into a really nice top, so this can be a two-piece set, but I'm not really sure that's by the way if I get to have the time. So yeah, let's get to the table and see what we come up with. This is what you're going to need to draft: a ruler, a pencil, a tape measure, and a brown paper or any type of paper. And you're going to start by drawing a straight line at the top. I made sure to leave 0.5 inch more than 0.5 inch so that I can get allowance later. And I'm going to be measuring from my waist to my hip. Mine is 8.75. You can go ahead and measure that. Make sure to measure from your belly button all the way to your widest part of your hip, and you're going to draw a straight line, and then we're going to take our full measurement. For me, my full measurement was a midi, and that went to around 30 inches, and I added 0.5 later on for seam allowance, but you can add it right here. And that was my length. I wanted some sort of a midi. You can make it mini, maxi, midi, whatever you want is up to you. So draw a straight line just like we did for the waist, for the hips, and for that length part. So we have our 3 lines, and now let's take our horizontal measurements. I'm going to start with the hips. That is the widest part of your bottom, and mine is 11 inches when I divide it by 4, and I added 0.5 inch seam allowance. For the waist, mine is 32. I'll divide it by 4 and then add 1 inch for that, and then add 0.5 inches for seam allowance. And the bottom, because I wanted sort of flared kind of skirt or an A-line, my hips is 11 inches as I said, so I'm going to add 2.5 inches and then add 0.5 inches for seam allowance. And now I'm going to be drawing that side seam joining the hip to the waist, the hip to the full length. Now that we have tested our curving skills, let's work on the waist, and I'm going to divide the waist in half. For me, that is 4.5, including the dart measurement. And now here's where I'm going to create my dart. So I'm first going to draw a straight line at that 4.5 inch mark, and right here at that line, I'm going to be measuring 0.5 inches on one side and 0.5 inches on the other. And lengthwise, the length of my dart is 4.5 inches, and I'm going to be drawing in that V shape where I'm going to have my dart later. And at this point, the skirt is almost done, so the only thing I'm going to be doing is lowering that waist part at the front or at the center back and the center front, drawing in a line. And this is because your waist is not a straight line, and that is the curve I'm trying to recreate here. So I'm going lower by 0.5 and then curving that inwards, and because the side is risen on the waist, I'm going to be curving it upwards at the bottom so that they can be at the same length. And then I add my seam allowance at my waist, add my seam allowance at the hem, and that is my basic skirt block pattern. And that is what I'm going to cut out. If you want to stop here, you can, and if you want to have a slit at the front like I did, you can follow the next steps. Cutting is done and I have my basic block, and because I placed it on fold, I have one big piece, and I will be using one as the basic block, and the other one I'm going to manipulate it to get a part of the front, and I'm continuing with that 4.5 mark, or rather half of my skirt, and drawing a straight line all the way down, and around it I'm going to mark 0.5 on either side so that I can get seam allowance for my slit, and then at the dart as well. So for folding, I will be folding the dart out on one side of the skirt, so I will be doing away with the dart, so that will not count where that part of the slit is. I will only have one dart at the front. As you can see right here, that's how I did it. So I have that one part which is the center front and the center back. I tried to cut a slit so that you can see. And now, as you can see, for the front, we have that one whole big piece that will be on the left side and mid right side. And then we have the smaller part. I hope you can see how I'm folding so that they both have different seam allowances. So that is the other piece for the front, and when it comes to the back, I'm using the part that is fully just a one piece block, and I'm cutting that out on my piece of fabric. And I have my pieces. I have my back. I placed it on fold so that I have just one piece, and then for the front, obviously I have two pieces, and I also cut out a waistband. So the waistband, I cut out a rectangle that is enough to go around my waist, and was 5 inches, so that I can fold in 0.5 inches, 0.5 inches, and then have it double, and I will start sewing. So to start sewing, I'm going to start by my darts, both at the back and that one dart for the front. And this just makes your skirt or garment look really professional. And after doing my darts, I'm going to attach my front pieces so that they can be one piece before I attach them to the back. So I'm just going to attach by my 0.5 inch seam allowance, and then mark where I want my skirt, my slit to be, and that's the point. And I will not be sewing that bottom part, and here it is. So for the hemming part, you can hem right now the slit hem, or you can hem everything when you're hemming the bottom. That's what I did. And now I'm going to place the skirt, that's the front and the back, right sides facing, and I'm going to sew the side seams. And at this point, I will attach my my zipper. So I did one side of the skirt, then attached to my waistband, so that attaching my zipper would be really easy. So for the waistband, I just pinned one side of the waistband and one side of the skirt, sewn that in place, and then I'll be folding it in place later and top stitching. So after I do the first side of the waistband, I'll be doing my zipper, and every time I do a zipper, I'm reminded of how much I hate attaching zippers. Anyway, I just really need a nice zipper foot, and all of these hopefully will go away. So I will pin the zipper in place, And then for the waistband part, I'm going to be folding the part that is supposed to fold outwards, and I will turn this inside out, and once I sew it, it will be so seamless. Okay, I know sometimes I do good when it comes to zippers, like today, and just look at that. Where's the zipper? Where is it? Nowhere. So I really love the results on invisible zippers. And now the second last step is top stitching all that in place, and then I'm going to hem the slit portion of my skirt and the bottom part, and I'll be done with the skirt. And remember when I said I want to make a top? Yes, I'm going to be using the Ilana lingerie pattern from Mood Fabrics. I'll link it in the description box. If you want a tutorial on that, I will definitely do a detailed one. Just tell me in the comment section and I will do it. I just traced out all those pieces on my short, cut them out, stitched in place, and because it's a bra and I needed it to be a top, I came up with like a wider waistband than what they indicated, and I sewed everything in place. And let me tell you, it was not that easy, honestly, because I didn't really follow instructions. I just did whatever I wanted to do, and that's why I'm not doing a full tutorial here. But everything turned out so cute. Just see how it looks. Honestly, I love it. And I usually like, I don't look good in skirts, but with this I'm reminded that I look good in absolutely anything, and I love it. Plus it's giving cottagecore vibes, and I love it. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Bye.